Hi, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and it has been a very, very challenging year for all of us in San Francisco. But I got to tell you, we're coming alive again. We're starting to open the city again. I see you, Urban Alchemy. Thank you for all the work you all do to help keep us safe out here. We are here today because we are taking an additional step further to get this city reopened. I'm joined by a number of our city department heads, including our city administrator, Carmen Chu, and our librarian, Michael Lambert. And let me tell you, Michael has not only been running this library, he and so many of our librarians and the people who work for the library here in San Francisco, they, more than almost any other department, have been working as disaster service workers to help address this pandemic. They've been down at COVID Command at Moscone Center, showing up every single day, doing whatever it takes, food preparation, organization, going out to our hotels where we are helping to support our homeless residents, going out to the community hubs to help support our kids, preparing virtual lesson plans and reading time. I did a reading time for kids during this pandemic as well, virtually, of course, doing so many incredible things to help get our city going during a very, very challenging time. I know many of us, we wish we didn't have to go through this past year. But what we should look at is the sacrifices we made and where we are now today. San Francisco has vaccinated about 60% of the residents here in the city, more than the state and national average. And over 85% of those who are over the age of 65 have been vaccinated. We are on the road to recovery. Yes, COVID is still here, whether we want it to be or not. Yes, we still have to do our parts and distance and wear a mask and not get too comfortable, because the last thing we need is another surge and the need to shut this city down again. But the fact is, San Franciscans, we are on the road to recovery. We are on the road to building a stronger San Francisco. And that gives me hope for the future. And today is not just about talking about our recovery. It's also looking at reopening our city, reopening our libraries, reopening our libraries. Of course, we're going to start with the main library, and then we're going to head over to Chinatown, Mission, and a number of our community libraries. And I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in San Francisco, and at that time, there wasn't all this computer, internet stuff that we have today. We had to actually go to the library because we would get a book, report assignment. And the Western Addition Library was my place of choice. I went to Ben Franklin Middle School. And we have to go through a card catalog to find the book. It was in alphabetical order. And that's how we did things. Now it's all computerized, it's easy. And in fact, I still have a library card. And now I download my audiobooks and other things for free. So all those books I forgot to bring back, they just disappear after they expire on my phone. A lot different than it used to be. No excuse for those of us who want to take advantage of reading, of using the computers and other things in the library. We're finally opening. And I can't be more grateful to this department and what they have done, all of its employees, all of the people of San Francisco. We did this together. We made this happen together. Yes, we have our challenges like any other major city. We still have so much work to do to address the inequities that continue to exist in our society. But we're in a good place right now, and we should be proud. We can take a moment. we can take a moment to enjoy this time and to recognize the fact that we are here, that we have an incredible opportunity, and we have a future to look forward to. That's what today is about. It starts with our libraries. The Giants and the Warriors are now able to play with fans. I saw folks out there, soccer leagues, playing, a bunch of kids playing in soccer leagues. I went to the tennis center, the Lisa and Doug Goldman Tennis Center in Golden Gate Park, packed with people, of course, being responsible. I saw folks walking their dogs and doing all kinds of fun stuff in our amazing park system. So we are on the road to recovery. And I am looking forward to the day when we can finally throw these masks in the air and wave them like we just don't care. Because I don't even know what any of you look like anymore. So with that, thank you so much. Today is about opening our libraries as a first step in our road to recovery, along with many of our incredible city assets for the public to enjoy. And with that, to talk more specifically about our library and the work that we're going to be doing to move our city forward is our city librarian, Michael Lambert.
Thank you so much. Oh, it feels so good to be here. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you so much for your leadership, for guiding us all through this past year. And welcome, everyone. Today is a special day. I'm so honored to be here with Mayor Breed and announce the books are back and your San Francisco Public Library is reopening. As our mayor mentioned, she is a power user of the library's collections, and we appreciate all her support for our institution and our library staff. I also want to acknowledge the president of the San Francisco Public Library Commission, Dr. Mary Wardell Giraduzzi, and library commissioners Connie Wolf, Dr. Arania Lopez, and Commissioner John Lee, and the executive director of the Friends and Foundation of the San Francisco Public Library, Marisa Pella. Thank you all so much for your advocacy and leadership on behalf of our library system. Also here is Carol Eisen, director of the city's Department of Human Resources. I have to say, Carol has been a tremendous partner this past year, working with our staff who have been activated as disaster service workers, and more recently in helping us to recall staff so we can reopen the library. So thank you, Carol, for your partnership. It's so exciting to be here at this moment, and I am beyond thankful that we're finally able to reopen our libraries for in-person services. It's been a long, hard 13 months, but now we're in a position to safely reopen our libraries for browse and bounce. Patrons will be able to experience browsing our stacks again, something that I know that they have dearly missed. We'll also have our public access computers available for printing and high-speed internet access. And it's really fitting as we celebrate this grand facility's 25th birthday this month that the main library is the first to reopen for in-person services on May 3rd. I want to acknowledge our chief of the main library, Tom Fortin. I know he's out here somewhere. I want to thank him for all his hard work and his leadership and for his entire team. After the main library, in quick succession, we'll open the Chinatown branch on May 17th, the Mission Bay branch on May 18th, Visitation Valley, Richmond, and Ortega branch libraries will open on June 21st, and the Excelsior branch library will reopen on June 22nd. Even more branches will follow as more and more library staff return from their disaster service work. And it may go without saying, but I could not be prouder of our entire library staff and the way they've stepped up to support our city in its COVID response. And in particular, I want to thank our labor partners from SEIU 1021. I know all of our staff are so looking forward to serving our community again and providing access to our collections and computers. We'll still be offering SFPL to go at some of our neighborhood branches, and I'm excited to say next week we're going to open the Potrero branch and the West Portal branch on Tuesday. We should have all of our branches reopened again by this fall before the start of school. And I really want to thank the community, everyone, for all your patience and support. You've hung in there, and I just really appreciate all your patience as we phase this reopening in the coming weeks and months ahead. At this time, I'd like to introduce our City Administrator, Carmen Chu, another stalwart supporter of our library system. In 2019, City Administrator Chu partnered with the W Challenge Initiative and the library to compile a women's book list to inspire the next generation of women leaders. We're so fortunate to have her support in getting our libraries reopened. City Administrator Chu.
When I was a little girl, I can remember going to the library. I maxed out every single book I could possibly take with my library card. It was always some kind of a cartoon, Garfield, or whatever it might have been at the time. And I have to say how important it was for me to be able to access the library. My parents didn't have a whole lot of money. It wasn't as if we can go to a store and go pick out a book or the latest edition that we've been hearing about or reading about in school. For me, and for many people like me in my community, being able to go to the public library was the one place you got to go where you had the opportunity to get the books you saw in school. You were able to borrow and bring it home, take it to your bed, read it on your couch. It was a place, frankly, that really created opportunities. The opportunity to dream, the opportunity to learn. And I think for so many San Franciscans, being able to see the libraries reopen, our public libraries reopen, is a blessing. I think San Francisco has amongst the best library system in the entire country. And I want to thank Michael Lambert, our city librarian, and all of our commissioners, our friends of the library, our mayor, for your support of our library system. Today, when we think about this announcement, why I'm so excited, COVID-19 has not been kind to people, right? It's a disease that has required that we went against every single nature of our being, staying away from our friends, our families, being disconnected from one another, being isolated, and in particular for people who are seniors, for our kids. And so when we think about bringing back our libraries, it's more than just about being able to access books, free and wonderful library services and education. It's about coming back together as a community. And when I think about how exciting it is that not only the Main is opening, but that Chinatown branch is opening, Mission branch is opening as some of the first priorities, it makes me proud because we're also thinking about the communities that are underserved typically. And not only that, but the communities that live in the most dense communities, residential neighborhoods. So I want to thank the libraries for not only being this place where we can learn and dream and be, but being a safe place for our communities to come back together. I want to thank the mayor for all of her leadership. I can't imagine a single meeting that I've had with the mayor since the pandemic happened where she hasn't been about what are we going to do about bringing people together? What are we going to do about helping to bring back mental health, helping people to sustain and get through this time period? And I want to thank her because she has been constantly pushing not only for us to reopen, but to do it in a safe way. To remember that at the end of the day, we have to make sure we keep our community safe and to do this together. So I want to thank her for her leadership. And then finally, my last thanks really goes to the workers, the staff of the public library. At its peak, there were 600 San Francisco public library workers who were deployed as disaster service workers, the folks who are helping to pass out food at the pantries, the folks who are coming to the command center to be able to help with all the things that we needed to respond to public health. Now we still have 150 who are still deployed. They have been a critical part of our whole response. And I just want to thank them for not only the work they continue to do in our emergency response, but for all the work that they are going to be doing as we reopen our branches. Today is a great day. The sun is shining on us, and we are so thrilled. Congratulations to the library system.
Thank you. Speaking of the San Francisco Public Library staff, I want to thank Shauna Sherman for joining us here today. She runs the African American Center here at the Main, but she worked as a contact tracer, and we really appreciate people like you and others for the work that you continue to do to uplift the community. And so I know that, and again, Carol, thank you for getting all of the staff back to the library, because let me tell you, I know it was hard work, but because many of the library staff felt so dedicated to the work of helping to support the city, yes, they wanted to come back to work, but they also wanted to finish the work that they were doing to address this pandemic. So again, we want to say thank you so much for your hard work and all that you did to help this city throughout this pandemic. And unlike Carmen Chu, who probably returned her books to the library when she was a kid, thank goodness I waived all those fines and fees of the past, because I'd be in real trouble right now. Forgive me, library, forgive me. But with that, thank you all again. Thank you to the commissioners, to the Friends of the Public Library, so many incredible people who care deeply about making sure that people in this city have access to books, that they have access to educational materials, to computers, and all the things that can help nurture and grow your mind, but also are really good for your soul. So with that, I want to open it up to questions. Do we have any questions? No questions? Easy. Easy day today. All right. Thank you all so much. Take care.